Welcome back, artistic ladies and gentlemen, to another Wizard Wednesday episode in this PTCGO series. Every Wednesday I create a deck from scratch without any testing. Then I take that deck into the versus ladder, play 5 battles with it and try to see how many wins I can get. And today I'm going to be building and playing with a deck based around Delphox BREAK from the Fates Collide expansion. Click the video annotation on the top right of the screen if you want to see me build this deck from scratch, if you want to hear my thoughts while building the deck, and that video annotation will take you right there. Stay on this video if you are not interested in that, and if you just want to watch the short version of the deck analysis or the battles, you can use the timestamps on the left hand side of the screen or click the timestamps in the description to skip to specific parts of this video. And right now we are going to dive right into the deck analysis of the Delphox BREAK deck. Let's start off by reading the Delphox BREAK card with its 180 hit points and the Flareon-EX GEN ability. Once during our turn, we may search our deck for a fire energy card and attach it to one of our Pokemon, so our active Pokemon or our bench Pokemon, and then we shuffle our deck. This is definitely a very good ability, there is no doubt about that. This is a very good ability because it allows us to energy accelerate to power up our Pokemon a little bit faster, and in combination with a blacksmith, which allows us to attach 2 energy cards from our discard pile to one of our fire Pokemon. That means we are going to be able to power up our stage 2 Delphoxes for their attacks. We have the stage 2 Delphox from the Fates Collide expansion with the Psystorm attack for 3 colorless energies. So again, with the Flareon-EX GEN and with the blacksmith, we power that up in one turn. Hits for 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to, and this is important, all Pokemon in play. So if my opponent has 3 energies attached and we have 3 energies attached to this Delphox here, then we are hitting for 120 damage already. So very quickly we are hitting for quite a bit of damage with this Psystorm attack. Also has got the Flickering Flames attack, hits for 40, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Could help us to slow down our opponent if we are not able to power up the Psystorm attack right away or in time. That's what I'm after, that's what I was trying to say. Then we also play the Delphox from the XY expansion with the Mystical Fire ability, allowing us to draw until we have 6 cards in our hands. So much like a Shaman, much like the setup ability from Shaman, the one difference is that we cannot play or cannot use this Mystical Fire ability in our first turn because we cannot evolve into Delphox in our first turn. Another difference is that we can use this ability as much as we like in the rest of the game. We can use it once per turn, but we can actually use it every single turn as long as it has not been knocked out, which is different from Shaman, because once Shaman is benched, you cannot use the setup anymore unless you pick it up and bench it once more. This Delphox has got the Blaze Ball attack, hits for 50 as a base, 20 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. Costs 3 colorless energies as well. If you attach 3 fire energies, you are hitting for 110, which is a knockout on a Shaman, coincidentally. So that's a very nice number to hit with the Blaze Ball. I run a 2-2 split of Delphoxes, 2 from the XY and 2 from the Fates Collide expansion. This one is going to be used as our main attacker with the Psystorm, and the other one is mainly going to be used for draw support. We are also going to be attacking with it, but if we can, we will prefer the Psystorm attack as long as my opponent has some energies in play. Then 2 Braixen. 2 different Braixens, one with the Clairvoyant Eye. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back on top of your deck in any order. I chose this Braixen because of this attack. If we are top decking, we can use it to guide our top deck and hopefully put a draw supporter on top. And then the Braixen from the Fates Collide expansion with the Destructive Flame, hits for 20, and if heads, we discard an energy attached to our opponent's active Pokemon. I went for 1 Braixen of the Fates Collide expansion as well, just because the Destructive Flame could help us to slow down our opponent a little bit. So a 1-1 split there, and then a 3-1 split of Fennekins. 3 Fennekins from the Fates Collide expansion with the Tail Whip, again to slow down our opponent, because if we flip heads, the defending Pokemon cannot attack during our opponent's next turn. And 1 copy of the Fennekin also from the Fates Collide expansion, but with the Invite Out attack. Flip a coin, if heads we switch one of our opponent's benched Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon. This will allow us to potentially stall a little bit if we can get a Hoopa in the active spot or another Pokemon that my opponent cannot easily retreat into or retreat out of the active spot. And that is it for the Delphox line, a 4-2-4-2 line. And that is because I'm going to be combining the Delphox line with rare candies. We are going to try to skip the Braixen evolution. That's why there are less copies of the Braixen. We are going to try to evolve from our Fennekin directly into the Delphox with rare candy. For rare candies, because it is such an important card in this deck, and we are going to try to search it out with our Trainer's Mail. And that's why I play Trainer's Mail, to look for our rare candies, but also to look for our battle compressors, because we can use this battle compressor to discard some energy cards, which we can then use with our blacksmiths, put them onto our Delphox here. So very versatile use of the battle compressor in this deck, because we can also use it to discard some supporters and get them back with our VS Seekers. For example, the Pokemon Fan Club, which we are going to use to get out Fennekins at the start of the game, and potentially some Flareon-EXs. Flareon-EX is going to be the support Pokemon in this deck with the Flash Fire ability, allowing it to move a fire energy from one of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. And look at that, the same exact attack as the Delphox Blaze Ball, hitting for 50 and 20 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So at the start of the game, the Delphox is going to be our main attacker, and later on we are going to switch into the Delphoxes here. That's why Flareon is in this deck, to have at least one attacker at the start of the game. And it's also just generally a pretty darn good attacker. I'm not gonna lie, the Flash Fire ability is also pretty darn good, allowing us to power it up in one turn very easily at any point in the game. Then what else is left? We have a pretty standard draw support line for Sycamore and 2 and 6 draw supporters, because we don't really have any shamans for the start of the game. The only way we can draw at the start of the game is using draw supporters or using the Stadium, the Scorched Earth, which allows us to discard a fire energy card from our hand. And if we do, we draw into 2 cards. This is the Stadium of the choice here because of that draw support there. It's going to be very useful at the start of the game. Then finally, for the supporters, one Skyla is its main use is going to be to search out the rare candies and potentially a Stadium, and sometimes also a tool cards. I have 2 tool cards, 1 copy of Muscle Band. If we are 20 short of hitting for 180 with the Psystorm, we could attach that Muscle Band and increase our attack damage to the 180. That is a knockout on most EXs in the format. And then 1 experience share, just because I wanted to try out this card, see how useful it is in this list. This experience share is going to allow us to preserve our energies on the field a little bit better. And that means we will have more energies available, and more energies means more attack damage with the Psystorm. So that is why I included this experience share. I would have included more copies of it, but I was a little bit tight on space in the deck. I could have gotten rid of an energy to include 1 more experience share. I run 11 energies, which is quite a lot, but I think we need them, and just to draw into them and attach, and also to have some energies in our deck to use with the Flare Witch, because we are going to discard some at the start of the game if we can with the Battle Compressor. So we need to have energies in our discard pile as well as in our deck, and that's why having quite a few energies in this list is pretty important, I think. Finally, for the item cards, we have an Escape Rope. Escape Rope is going to be the one switching card in this deck. If this card is priced, we will have to retreat by paying the retreat cost, which is a 2 retreat cost for the Delphox and a 2 retreat cost for the Flareon as well. And not too tough for us to pay, and I don't think we will need to retreat all that much. Typically, we are going to let our Pokemon sit in the active spot until it gets KO'd, except for the Flareon. If we can retreat the Flareon, we will try to do that, because it gives up 2 prizes, while our Delphox only gives up 1 prize. And I think that's it. We have the Sacred Ash to shuffle back Pokemon, and Ultra Balls to search out our Pokemon, but that is pretty self-explanatory. So this is going to be it for the deck analysis. Leave a like if you enjoy the upcoming battles, and subscribe to my channel for more Wizard Wednesday challenges. And right now I think I'm going to have to talk about the contest, the weekly contest, where I give away some free booster packs. This week it's gonna be 5 BREAKpoint booster packs. What do you have to do to be eligible to win some of these booster packs? All you have to do is create your own list based around Delphox Break and send it to me, send it to my Facebook page. Take a screenshot of your list and send it to my Facebook page. Link is in the description below, and I'll probably also paste it in the comments down below. The first 2 people to send me their list, they will be entered into the contest. They will be eligible to win the packs. I will put a notification on my Facebook as soon as I've received 2 lists, so that you know you don't have to enter anymore, that all spots are filled in. I will choose from those first 2 people, I will choose my favorite list, and that person will receive 3 booster packs. The second person, the runner-up, will receive 2 BREAKpoint booster packs. If you have any questions or if anything is not clear, just ask in the comment section. I answer pretty much every day, and most of the times at multiple points in a day. And that's it. We are going to try to find 5 battles right now in the versus ladder and see how many wins we can pull off with this Delphox Break list. The first opponent of the day is going to be Daskiwi with a colorless and a metal deck. And Daskiwi looks like he's going to go first. Yeah, he's going to go first. We definitely wanted to go first here. Oh, we get a pretty good hand. I am not complaining about our hand. This is a nice hand. Some Fennekins. The only thing that's missing is a rare candy for the next turn. I might just Ultra Ball for a Flareon-EX. Rayquaza EX. Oh, there's a Cherno. Looks like this is gonna be a deck with some EXs thrown in there together with Bronzong, and then some Chernos. Cherno is not a very good supporter, I'm gonna be honest. Often Cherno is a sign that the opponent isn't just too far evolved into the deck building just yet, is starting out, maybe something like that. We are going to Ultra Ball here. I'm going to discard probably the Sycamore and an Energy. And we are going to try to find... We have one more Delphox with a Mystical Fire. Oh, what could I get out? Probably just another Fennekin, to be honest. Let's get out another Fennekin. And then I think we shall go with Sycamore. I'm gonna risk it. Let's go with the Sycamore. Can we find a rare candy and a Delphox for the next turn? And yes, we do. Excellent. We shall Battle Compress 1 Energy and a Lysander. And then we shall also Battle Compress the Pokemon Fan Club. No need for the Fan Club anymore. Do we have any Blacksmiths in the discard pile? We do not, but we have one in our hands, so we don't really need to discard any Blacksmiths. And that is going to be it for me for this turn. In the next turn I can evolve one Fennekin into a Braixen and the other into the Delphox with a Mystical Fire ability. There is the Bronzong from my opponent. He does not have any energies in a discard pile, so he cannot really use it right now. But he might soon enough if he can find a Battle Compressor. There is a Birch that's already a step up from the Cherno, but still nowadays Birch is not considered a very good draw supporter. The N and the Sycamore are definitely a little bit better, one level higher than the Birch. And it looks like we are just going to see Rayquazas and Lugias and a Mega Rayquaza without a Spirit Link. Oh boy. So let's rare candy. We are going to rare candy the benched one. The active one might get knocked out. Then we shall evolve the benched Fennekin into a Braixen. I am going to put the Muscle Band onto that Braixen so we can potentially use it with this Delphox. I shall counter the Stadium, force my opponent to discard at least one Pokemon, or just one Pokemon. He cannot discard any more Pokemon. The question is, do we go with the Blacksmith? I'm going to Blacksmith, but I'm going to do it on the benched Braixen. I could have gone with the Tail Whip, but I think I'm going to let the Fennekin in the active spot get knocked out, to be honest. What else can we find? There is the Delphox Break. Very good. Let's discard that energy. My opponent is hitting for 150 damage right now. I could rare candy the active Fennekin, but I think I will refrain. Instead, I'm going to discard the Trainer's Mail and 1 energy. Let's discard 1 energy. And I'm going to grab another Fennekin if we have one more. No, our last Fennekin is priced, so that means I'm going to grab the Flareon-EX. The Flareon-EX. I have no idea why I said Florges. We are going to pass our turn. Give my opponent a KO most likely on our Fennekin. But we have a pretty decent hand for the next turn. We can evolve into the Delphox, we can evolve into the Break. We can end, but I'm probably going to use my Mystical Fire before I do that. Opponent needs to find 1 more energy in order to be able to knock us out. If he can't, I might actually just rare candy the active Fennekin. And there is the energy, so it is going to be a knockout. I'm quite happy that I did not evolve the Fennekin in the active spot. An Ultra Ball for, I'm not sure what for. Another Mega Rayquaza. If he Mega Evolves right now, he's going to pass the turn. He's not going to do that, it seems. He's just going to Metal Links onto the Rayquaza on the bench. And an Emerald Break for quite a bit of damage. I don't think we can reply with a one-hit KO, but we definitely can reply for quite a bit of damage. Am I going to promote the Delphox or am I going to promote the Flareon and try to power up the Flareon? I think I'm going to promote the Flareon here. Because there's no way we are going to hit for the one-hit KO. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there's no way. I'm going to promote the Flareon. And try to power up the Flareon. We get a VN Seeker, so we can grab our Blacksmith from the discard pile. That is really good. Let's do that first of all. Let's Blacksmith onto the Flareon. Probably just going to attach 2 energies to it. 3 energies total. Just hit for 110. That's a 2-hit knockout. We shall also evolve into our Break. And then Flare Witch. Put an energy onto the Delphox on the bench. And then I think it's time to go for the Mystical Fire. Can we get our Sacred Ash? We do not get our Sacred Ash. We do, however, get an Escape Rope. Huh. I could Escape Rope. And that actually appeals to me quite a bit. Let's bench the Flareon. And then let's Escape Rope. Because we missed out on an energy, we could use the Flash Fire ability and move the energy from our Delphox to the Flareon, but I think I'm just going to Escape Rope here. Escape Rope into my Delphox. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are actually going to knock out the Pokemon that my opponent promotes with our Delphox. We are going to knock out this Rayquaza EX. Yes, I think we are. Let's hit for the Psy Storm for 180, 200 actually because of the Muscle Band. And take 2 prizes. We get the Fennekin, excellent. So I can bench this Fennekin and start getting another Delphox ready because this one is going to get knocked out, unfortunately, if my opponent finds some more benched Pokemon. If he cannot find any more Pokemon to bench, then we shall actually stay alive, which would be quite fortunate for us. I'll be a happy chap if we could stay alive. I think we are in a decent spot to win the game then. An energy to the benched Rayquaza. Is he going to do anything else? And no, just an Emerald Break for a near knockout. Just not enough. That is sad for my opponent. I am going to discard the Braixen as well as probably this energy. And I'm going to get out my Break. Evolve into my Break. And we are probably going to knock out this Charizard EX. Charizard, what the heck? This Rayquaza EX. Let's hit for the Flare Witch. Get an energy, attach it to our benched Flareon. And we shall also attach one to our benched Delphox Break. With the Flare Witch from the Delphox Break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is enough for a knockout. Let's bench our Fennekin as well. And then let's use the Mystical Fire. Try to find some more cards. Maybe a Blacksmith for the next turn. We do get a VS Seeker. I will counter the Stadium. So my opponent cannot bench any more Pokemon. Or more than 5 Pokemon. And I think that's it. I think I don't need to do anything else here. We have everything we need for the next turn. So Psystorm for the knockout, if I calculate it correctly. 240 damage, look at that, because of the muscle band. 240 damage, that is pretty impressive. There is our experience share. What can my opponent do here to come back? I am not sure what he could do. I am actually not too sure. We could... And there it is, there is the concede. I was gonna say we could power up the Flareon for a knockout on the Rayquaza if we wanted to. With a Blacksmith and a Flare Witch. And that would have been it. So, first game of the day is immediately a win. And a pretty nice game it was, I think. Let's see if we can find a second opponent. ZCKAB is going to be our second opponent. I have no idea why I said it the way I did. Just ignore me. Oh, my opponent is going to go first once more. I think we went second in the previous game as well. We start off with a disappointing hand. Luckily, we get to reshuffle that hand. Thank God, thank goodness, thank the Lord. And okay, this is not too shabby. This is okay. Could have been better, but I'll take it. I'll take it. What is my opponent playing? He is playing Mewtwo. Mewtwo EX is not a very nice matchup for us, because we play lots of energies, so the Mewtwo can hit quite hard against our Pokemon. Since the Mega Mewtwo hits for 30 damage times the amount of energy attached to both Pokemon plus 10 base damage, there is a Spirit Link already. I do not have a starting Megaphone in this deck, so I cannot get rid of that Spirit Link, unfortunately. A Battle Compressor from my opponent. And I think we'll see maybe some supporters being discarded. Because my opponent doesn't have any supporters in the discard yet, and he might not have any in his hand, so otherwise I'm not too sure what we will see get discarded. The only thing I can think of is supporters. Maybe discard a Hoopa and then get it back with a Buddy Better Rescue, but that would be a play that I would not really expect right now. A Lysander, an N, and an Energy. So an Energy, okay, yeah, an Energy I should have expected an Energy. For the Mega Turbo, my opponent could Mega Turbo onto the Mega Mewtwo. Can we power up this Flareon in our first turn? I don't think we will be able to do that. It doesn't look like it, so we will attach an Energy, we will Escape Rope. Force our opponent to promote another Pokemon. We don't want to deal with the Mega Mewtwo straight away, if we don't have to. And then it's time to go with the Sycamore, discarding our Mystical Fire Delphox. And we don't find any Fennekins. Are you kidding me? This is a pretty bad start. This is not looking good. Spirit Link and Energy. Oh, my opponent can retreat now. And there is the Mega Mewtwo. He's already there. Oh boy, Mega Turbo, so we'll get hit for 100 damage and a VS Seeker for an N. Yes, please, N us. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That N. Sent from the heavens and above. Oh, never mind. We get terrible hands. There is a Hoopa. Hoopa for another Mega Mewtwo and probably a Mewtwo. This is definitely a tough matchup for us. We are going to have to target the Shamans if we can get our Delphoxes going. I think this is going to be a lost game, seeing as though we have such a slow start, a snail start. Very, very slow indeed. And there's a Psychic Infinity for 100 damage. We actually need to hit for the one-hit KO on the Mega Mewtwo, because my opponent can heal off damage with the Shrine of Memories by going with the damage change from the Mewtwo EX. What are we going to do? We are going to counter the Stadium. We are going to Battle Compress. And Battle Compress probably the Pokemon Fan Club. I'm going to use the Pokemon Fan Club, as well as a Skyla. And how many energies do we have in the discard pile? 1. And that should be enough for now. I'm going to compress. I'm not sure what else. I think I'll just leave it at this here, to be honest. Compress those 2 cards, and then we shall use our Scorched Earth, draw into 2 more cards. I should have used my Pokemon Fan Club first. I should have done that first, so... because then I would have thinned out my deck a little bit and increased my chances of drawing into some cards that I want to draw into. We shall get out 2 Fennekins and end our turn here. There is nothing else we can do. In the next turn, hopefully we can evolve into 2 Delphoxes and start attacking with our Delphoxes. Yeah, that's the only thing we can hope for. We don't want to see any Liceners. Liceners would be awful. I could have tried to power up my Flareon and hit this Mega Mewtwo EX, but I think that wouldn't have been the best play, because we need our Fennekins, we need to get them going. A Delphox Break, a Rare Candy, and an Ultra Ball. The Ultra Ball is definitely useful. I'm going to Ultra Ball away the breaks probably, and then shuffle back the breaks with the Sacred Ash. And get out the Delphox with the Mystical Fire. There is another energy. That's 4 energy in play, which is good for us. That means we can hit a little bit harder with our Delphox. Let's see. We shall promote the Fennekin. We don't have another choice. The question is, which Fennekin do we evolve? We get 2 rare candies. So I'm gonna discard the breaks and get out the Mystical Fire Delphox. And probably put that on the active one, because I need to preserve the Psystorm one. Yeah, I need to preserve the Psystorm one. And then I think I shall use my Sacred Ash straight away. Shuffle back all of these Pokemon. And then use my Mystical Fire ability. Try to find another Delphox. And yes, we do actually. We get another Mystical Fire one, but I want to get the other one. Here is an Ultra Ball, so I am going to discard the... do I discard the Mystical Fire one? That's a little bit risky. I could just... this is a tough choice. Tough call. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to look for a... I need to find one more energy. So I think I will evolve into the Mystical Fire one. I am going to go with it. And I'm going to look for one more energy. I can go for a Licener instead. I could go for a Blacksmith or a Licener here. What do I do? Blacksmith or Listener? Listener onto the Hoopa, but my opponent has Mystery Energy. Maybe Listener onto a Shaman. Let's go for a Listener onto a Shaman actually. Or onto the other Mewtwo EX. No, let's just go for the Hoopa. Let's force my opponent to attach an energy to the Hoopa. And then we shall go with the Mystical Fire, trying to find an energy and a Fennekin. We don't get a Fennekin, we get an energy. I can discard that energy, but I already have 3 energies in a discard pile. So I am rather going to discard this Scorched Earth and this VS Seeker. How many Blacksmiths are in the discard pile? Only 1 Blacksmith. Yeah, I'm going to go with the VS Seeker. And I'm going to grab another Fennekin. And then in the next turn we can try to find our Psystorm Delphox. So let's attach an energy to the Fennekin, which is going to be our attacker, and end our turn. We are forcing our opponent to attach an energy to the Hoopa, but he is going to attach to the Mewtwo, meaning that he might have a switch, and he does have a switch. So 5 energies in play. We are hitting for 100, 120 right now. With the Muscle Band, that's 140. That means we need to find 3 more energies, or attach 3 more energies if we can find a Muscle Band. And that would be a knockout. No, actually 4 more energies. There is the Flareon. I'm going to evolve the benched Delphox into the break and use the Flare Witch ability. Start powering up the Fennekin. I'm pretty confident we can find the Delphox. We just need to find a way to switch the Delphox in the active, and that's not going to be easy. That's definitely not going to be easy. We get another Delphox break. Maybe I should start powering up the Delphox in the active spot actually. Maybe I should. Let's put this Muscle Band onto our benched Fennekin. Let's bench another Flareon, just so we can draw into some more cards. Then let's attach to the Delphox in the active spot. And we are going to Battle Compress. How many Ultra Balls do we have? 2 more Ultra Balls. I'm going to compress 1 N, I think. Definitely going to compress a Braixen. We don't want to draw into the Braixen right now. We don't really need another rare candy at the moment, but we might need it later on. Actually not, because we are out of Sacred Ash, so I'm gonna discard the rare candy, and I am going to discard 1 N as well. We only have 1 more VS Seeker left. And then let's use the Mystical Fire, draw into 4 cards. Hopefully we can find an Ultra Ball, but we get the Delphox instead, which is really good. I much prefer the Delphox over the Ultra Ball. And can we then... no, we can actually not find Blacksmith. We cannot find a Blacksmith. So that means I'm going to Flash Fire, put this energy from the Delphox in the active onto our Flareon. And we are going to... I could have discarded an energy with my Scorched Earth. I could have done that. But I'm going to refrain. I think I need my energies. We are just going to end our turn. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 160. In the next turn we should be able to attach 2 more energies. Actually 3 more energies. I think we can find a Blacksmith. So I'm going to move 1 more energy from the Delphox to another Flareon, and that way if our opponent Liceners out this Delphox, my opponent doesn't hit for a ton of damage. And we shall pass our turn here. Pretty long turn for us, but I think it was necessary. We needed to set up, and we did set up, but we are going to be down 3 prizes already. 3 prizes already. So we need to try to find a way to come back in this game. Can my opponent find a Listener? The Listener is the biggest threat for us at the moment. We don't want to see a Listener. We are fine with this Delphox getting KO'd. As long as we don't see a Listener, we still have a chance at winning this game. We just need to deal with this Mega Mewtwo EX and then deal with the other one and then just Listener out a Shaman. There is a Hex Maniac, that is troublesome. We won't be able to use the Flare Witch in the next turn. So we just have to rely on finding a Blacksmith. From the top deck actually, because we can't use the Mystical Fire. Oh boy indeed. Psychic Infinity for the knockout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 30 is 180. Yeah, I have to promote this Delphox. That Hex Maniac. I cannot believe it. An Ultra Ball. I'm going to have to discard an energy, try to find a Blacksmith, and there is the Blacksmith. So we shall evolve into the break. We shall also put this here onto the bench, the Delphox. And then we shall attach an energy to the bench Delphox, as well as use our Blacksmith. And I think that should be a knockout. Unless we need that muscle band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is a knockout on this Mega Mewtwo EX with a Psystorm. Look at that. Oh, we have the muscle band attached. I completely forgot. I'm talking about attaching a muscle band here, but I already had it attached. There's a VS Seeker and a Sycamore. Excellent. If my opponent cannot find a DCE, another energy, then we should be fine with an energy. We are in a bit of trouble. Because he's knocking us out, I believe. 6 times 30 plus 10, that's 190. That is definitely a knockout. Yeah. Now this becomes tricky. We will have to deal. With this Mega Mewtwo in 2 turns. 1 turn with our Delphox Break and then another turn with our Flareon-EX. VS Seeker for another Hex Maniac. He's going to try to chain Hex Maniacs. He's used 2 VS Seekers so far. I do get to preserve an energy, so I'm going to put that energy onto the Delphox. Can we find one more energy from our deck? And that is the question. Because I want a Blacksmith to a Flareon, I don't want a Blacksmith onto the Delphox in the active spots. We have one more energy in our deck. Do I risk it? Do I N for the energy? Or do I go with the Blacksmith? I'm going to Ultra Ball away the Delphox and the Sycamore, and I'm going to risk it. I'm going to look for the energy. Oh, we actually have more energy in our deck. What was I looking at before? Oh, the Trainer's Mail. Yeah, this should be able to give us an energy. So I'll click done, and I will end my opponent down to 2 prizes. And there is 2 energies, excellent. And we shall hit for the Blaze Ball for 110 damage. And in the next turn we shall power up our Flareon and hit for the KO. Leaving our opponent with no backup attacker. And that puts us in a good position to win this game. Definitely in a good position. Because we have 2 more VS Seekers. We can Listener a Shaman. An Ultra Ball. My opponent could Listener out a Flareon-EX, but it shouldn't be a knockout. He's going to grab another Mega Mewtwo EX. Interesting, because he doesn't have the Spirit Link. Not sure why he did that. And there is the knockout on our Delphox for 190. Okay, now things need to happen. We are going to look for our VS Seeker. We are going to look for our Blacksmith with a VS Seeker, and then Blacksmith onto the Flareon. And then it should be GG in a turn after that, because we can use our Scorched Earth to draw into our last VS Seeker. We will draw into 1 card, bring us down to 2 cards, and then we can use the Scorched Earth to draw into our last 2 cards into our deck. So Blaze Ball for the KO for 110. Taking 2 more prizes. What do we get? A Braixen and a Fennekin There is the last Fennekin. We are not going to bench that, there is no point to that. An energy on the Mewtwo. The Mewtwo will hit for 30 damage and a Mega Evolution, which is going to be too late. There is the VS Seeker. We top deck the VS Seeker for the knockout for the game. Wow, this is 2 wins in a row with Delphox here. After such a terrible start, we managed to get 2 wins. Might as well attach an energy just for good measures. And then Blaze Ball for 130 on that Shaman. I cannot believe it, we won against Mega Mewtwo EX. We won against Mega Mewtwo EX. 240 damage is our biggest attack, that is more than the Mega Mewtwo did. Delphox Break MVP versus Mega Mewtwo EX. Let's move on to our third opponent of the day. And our third opponent is going to be Super Bobby 123 with a fire and a colorless deck. This could very well be Delphox versus Delphox, or was it fighting? Maybe it was fighting, because he's got fighting sleeves, he's sporting fighting sleeves, so it could be a fighting deck. And we start off with, that would have been, actually that would have been an okay hand if this was a Fennekin. Oh, it is a Fennekin, never mind, that looked like a Braixen to me. So we have a Fennekin, which means we can search out our Delphox with our Ultra Ball, Rare Candy into the Delphox, and then use our Mystical Fire to draw into some Pokemon in the next turn. I'm not sure if we are going first, I already forgot. And we just have to hope that my opponent cannot knock out our Fennekin here in the first turn, in his next turn, because otherwise I will be forced to dig for another Fennekin with that Ultra Ball. What is he playing? It is a Gible, so... Oh, and we are going first. Yeah, this is excellent. This is really, really good. We are going to discard 2 energies, as well as probably a Blacksmith. Yep, that is going to be the option that we are going to go for. And then we are just going to pause the turn. There is no need to do anything else. I could I could try to find an Ultra Ball, I guess. Scorched Earth. Let's get out the Scorched Earth. Might as well attach an energy to... Maybe not. I'm gonna wait. We shall just end our turn and see what we can get from the top deck. In the next turn, I definitely need to find another Fennekin. That is definitely going to need to happen. Never enough for 2 cards. Is going to discard 1 card from his hand. Discarded an energy. So very short turns for both me and my opponents. We get a Sycamore, look at that. Which means I'm going to be discarding the Sycamore and the Lysander. Get out my Delphox. Evolve into my Delphox, probably bench my Stadium as well, so we can draw into 1 more card with the Mystical Fire. And I'm going to attach an energy to the Delphox. Hopefully we can find a VS Seeker for a Blacksmith and then knock out this Gible in my opponent's active spot. And that might be a quick win then. We do not get a VS Seeker, however I can discard this energy and try to look for a VS Seeker that way. It is an Ultra Ball. Let's Ultra Ball for a Fennekin. Discard this Professor Sycamore. And probably this energy. And just grab the Fennekin. Our opponent is going to stay alive for now. We are going to grant him his life. But hopefully in the next turn we will get a kill. And we shall end our turn here. 4 energies in a discard pile already. I can get out another Delphox in the next turn with this Ultra Ball. I will have to discard this experience share and whatever I top deck. We do not see a Garchomp just yet, which is unfortunate for my opponent. He's just going to go with the Gabite. Can hit us for 20 damage. And then we cannot retreat, but we are not planning on retreating. Is my opponent... Oh, there is a Focus Sash. I was just gonna say, if we see the Focus Sash, that is going to be a little bit annoying. That Focus Sash though. Sycamore discards his Rare Candy. He did not have a Corina in hand, that is why we didn't see the Garchomp. And there is another Gabite, so it's going to be evolutions versus evolutions here. Wow, he gets another fire energy. I'm gonna have to discard this experience share and this fire energy. And I'm going to get out the... do I need this Delphox? Probably not. Garchomp doesn't really attach too many energies. But I don't have a choice. My other Delphox is prized, so we'll have to go with this one. Rare Candy into that Delphox, and then evolve into the break and draw into 6 cards with our Delphox in the active spots. I will Flare Witch first and put an energy onto probably the active, because then we can attach from our hand as well. Make sure we can attack this turn. We get no VS Seeker, but we do get a Fennekin, an energy there. I do not really need to counter the stadium. I'm going to look for a supporter, I think. Not a Rare Candy and a Pokemon Fan Club. Might as well use the Pokemon Fan Club and get another Fennekin going. I am not going to get out the Flareon. The Flareon is an easy target for my opponent. And then I think it's time to attack here. No need for the Muscle Band. No need to counter the stadium just yet. We'll just hit for the Blaze Ball and get rid of that Focus Sash on the Garchomp, on the Gabite. My opponent can evolve into the Garchomp and hit us for 80 damage with the Bite of potentially 100 with the Muscle Band, which there is the Muscle Band. No strong energy, so it will just be 100 damage, which is not going to be enough for a knockout. Not nearly enough. It does have the Miltanks, which can be annoying, can come in and hit for a bit of damage. VS Seeker for a Sycamore. What is he going to discard from his hands? It's going to be... Ooh, the Sacred Ash. That is... that's risky. That's risky, my friends, because your Garchomps will be hitting the discard pile pretty soon. That is a risky play that you made there. And there's another Garchomp with 1 energy attached to it, another Gibble. So it's going to be a game where we need to keep our stage 2s going. So the person who can keep evolving into his stage 2s is most likely going to win this game. We have a slight advantage. We are in a favorable position because we can hit for 1-hit KOs while our opponents cannot really hit for 1-hit KOs against our Delphox breaks. Unless he attaches lots of strong energies. I'm gonna... Should I bench my stadium and discard this energy? No, I should not. I have 5 energies in the discard pile already. I will bench my stadium, but I will just attach the energy to the Delphox on a bench. And then also attach a Muscle Band to the Delphox. And we shall Mystical Fire for a couple of cards, 5 cards. I should have used my Flare Witch first. Luckily we did not draw into any energies. Flare Witch for the last energy in our deck. Let's put it onto the Delphox. And then let's evolve into our Braixen. I'm going to use my Battle Compressor. We are down to 14 cards already. There is a VS Seeker. No need for Sycamores at this point. And no need for the Flareons. Let's get rid of the Flareons. Then let's try to find a VS Seeker. There is the VS Seeker, or I could also grab the Rare Candy, but I have it in my hand already. And we shall... do I want to go for the Blacksmith right now? I think I will. I'm going to Blacksmith onto the Braixen, I think. Braixen or the Delphox. If I attach to the Delphox... my opponent could 1-hit KO this Delphox if he can get a Muscle Band and 2 strong energies on the Garchomp on the bench. However, he's also already got a Focus Sash attached. So I'm just going to go with full on here. Blacksmith onto the Delphox on the bench. Make sure it's ready to attack. And we shall actually retreat into that Delphox. Yeah, I'm going to retreat. I want to preserve my Mystical Fire Delphox. Let's retreat here, right here, and hit for a Psystorm for 180 damage. Knocking out that Garchomp, taking the first prize of the game. What do we get? Another Blacksmith. I need to find my Sacred Ash, because this Delphox is going to go down at some point, and I want to shuffle it back. A strong energy, a Gibble, and maybe a rare candy for another Garchomp, Corina. So it is likely that we will see a rare candy for a Garchomp. This Garchomp is going to hit us for 100 damage. We will reply for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 160, but because of this Focus Sash, we won't be able to take the one-hit KO. As soon as my opponent runs out of Focus Sashes, we should be able to steam through my opponent's Pokemon, steam through the game here. There is a rare candy. How many rare candies has my opponent used? One rare candy so far. We have used 2 or discarded. I used 1. No, we have used 2, I think. Yeah. I thought we might have discarded 1, but we didn't. And he doesn't use the rare candy, which means he didn't get out the Garchomp. Only one Garchomp in the discard pile. Would love to power up another Delphox and attack with that Delphox. Let's see. I can try to Flare Witch, but there is no more energies in my deck. I was kind of aware of that. So I will just have to Blacksmith. And yeah, it's going to have to be a Blacksmith onto the Delphox on the bench. Get back 2 more energies from the discard pile. And then probably I'll go for a Mystical Fire, see if I can get a VS Seeker for the next turn. No VS Seeker, huh. Let's discard 1 Sycamore and 1 N and take a look at our deck. What do we have left in our deck? There is the Delphox. I will get out the Delphox. And then we are left with just the Sacred Ash and some 5 more cards. We are down to 6 cards. We need to watch out for the deck out here. Let's evolve into the Delphox. And let's hit for the Psy Storm for 200 damage. I could have gone for the Flickering Flames, tried to put my opponent to sleep. Maybe I should have done that actually. That could have forced my opponent to stay asleep here, or could have tried to gamble that my opponent stayed asleep, and then he would not have been able to attack us back. Yeah, I think that would have been a smarter play, because we would have gotten rid of the Focus Sash, or the effect of the Focus Sash that way as well. So I kinda regret not going for the Flickering Flames right now. My opponent counters the Stadium. Again, we do not bench any EXs, so his Stadium is quite useless. I'm not sure why he's discarding that Stadium, because he can make use of our Scorched Earth himself with his fighting energies. And just like that, 4 more energies hit the discard pile. Lots of energies in the discard pile right here. We get a Braixen. Actually, do I wanna... I will evolve. I will draw into 3 more cards with this Mystical Fire. Bring myself down to 2 cards. I want to find that Sacred Ash, and I do not find the Sacred Ash. That is rather unfortunate. Yeah, we'll just have to hit for the knockout and with the Blaze Ball. Take 1 card from the prizes, and hopefully it is an energy. We need some energies. It is a VS Seeker for a Blacksmith, but we actually needed an energy for the next turn to power up our Delphox. We actually needed that energy. 7 energies in discard pile, 3 in play. 1 energy is prized. Too bad. Too bad. Maybe I should power up a Flareon. Sorry about that. I needed to clean my nose because my nose was blocked. Maybe I should have powered up a Flareon. Well, it doesn't. No, actually not. The Flareon cannot be powered up in 1 turn either. There is another Garchomp. Can we find a way to deal with that Garchomp? I might just have to go for the Destructive Flame and discard an energy attached to my opponent's active Pokemon. Or I might just have to sacrifice the Braixen, because I will have to Blacksmith onto the Delphox on the bench. Another Focus Sash, are you freaking kidding me? bite of 40 KO for 100 damage. Or I could go with the Flickering Flames. No, I'm gonna go with the Flickering Flames, because my opponent will not be able to one-hit KO us. Oh, and there's another VS-Seeker. I actually need to get that Sacred Ash this turn. Or I would love to get it this turn. But there is no way we will be able to do that. Alright, what do? We will just have to hit for the Flickering Flames. We cannot do anything else for 40 damage. Put my opponent to sleep. And he stays asleep. That is huge. Unless my opponent finds a switch, that is pretty darn huge. Pokemon Center Lady, that would do it as well. And that denies the effect of... or that makes the Focus Sash active again. And there is a Sacred Ash for my opponent. I think we might actually lose this game here. Just because we couldn't get an energy attachment. Just because we... what am I saying? Just because... why are we losing this game? Just because my opponent is using Focus Sash. Yeah, the Focus Sashes, we don't have a starting Megaphone. The Focus Sashes are keeping my opponent in the game. We get hit for 100 damage. And there is a Sacred Ash. I need to start shuffling back some Pokemon right about now. Delphox with the Mystical Fire. Probably a Flareon. Maybe a Fennekin and one more Delphox. And I'm going to try to find the Flareon if I can here with my N. Yeah, I'm going to try to find the Flareon and move an energy to the Flareon. That is the play, I think, here. That is the play I should make. I will bench my Stadium, increase my chances of drawing into the Flareon. So let's go for the N. And my opponent down to 4 cards, and there is the Flareon. He already had 4 cards in his hand. We do get the Delphox with the Mystical Fire as well. So I might as well evolve. And let's use our Flash Fire ability. Move this energy to the Flareon. And then hit for the Flickering Flames. Hopefully my opponent stays asleep one more time. And he stays asleep one more time. Can he find his Pokemon Center Lady once again? He has 2 more VS-Seekers somewhere. Hopefully we did not give him any VS-Seekers. And he stays asleep. That's good. We could actually knock out this Garchomp with our Delphox. And I think I should do that. Then, do I use my Mystical Fire? I don't think I should. That is way too risky. So we are just going to hit for the Psystorm for 160 damage. Hopefully my opponent doesn't find any more Focus Sashes. We get Delphox Break. That's just a little bit too late, because my opponent is going to knock out the Delphox in the active spot with the Gabite. Never mind, it's going to be a Garchomp instead. Benches another Gible. He keeps on coming. Terrible Assault for the knockout. But we shall reply for... we actually cannot reply for the knockouts. Oh boy. We cannot reply for the knockouts. That's a problem. That is a problem. Oh, I could with... no, we don't have an energy in our deck. Well, I need to use my Mystical Fire here. I need to find a VS-Seeker. And I do not find a VS-Seeker. That is GG then. I think this is game over. I can Skyla for a VS-Seeker and then use my VS-Seeker in the next turn for a Blacksmith. But this Flareon-EX is going to go down, so it is GG. I'm going to have to scoop the game here. There is no way we can win. GG against my opponent. Very, very nice game. A very long game as well. We shall scoop the game and move on to the 4th opponent of the day. Yeah, there was no way we were going to win that game. My opponent had plenty of cards left in his deck. We just ran out of energies. If only we had more energies in my deck. Maybe I should have included a Super Scoop Up or a super rod in a deck. Maybe I should have done that. So we are at a 2-1 ratio, 2 wins, 1 loss.
Karp, 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 Karp.